What's up, gamers? Welcome back to HudReports. Here are the top 10 open world games you may have never played before or must revisit in 2025. We've tried to pick 10 games that aren't obvious and predictable with the hope that you've not played at least some of them before. Please know these aren't in any particular order, and let's get into this. Starting off with number 10 on our list, we have Sleeping Dogs. This game is an absolute classic and doesn't get enough attention these days. This was a game that came out in 2012 and kept us entertained while waiting for the release of GTA 5. It's essentially GTA but set in the incredible city of Hong Kong. Not only does it hold up in 2025, but it's such a unique experience when compared to most open world games. The brutal style combat is amazing, also has many different unique activities such as cockfighting or visiting karaoke's where you can practice your singing skills. This game was such a refreshing experience that you've likely not encountered before and you would definitely need to check out. And number 9 on our list, we have Assassin's Creed Unity. Although this Assassin's Creed received poor reviews on release due to the amount of bugs that have since been fixed, the open world of AC Unity, which is set in 18th century Paris, is absolutely incredible with the amount of populated NPCs makes it a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Honestly, this game does not look like it was released in 2014. Like, what other open world game can you think of that looks this alive and immersive, with some of the most satisfying parkour and combat in the franchise? This is an absolute must play that is often forgotten about or labeled as shit because of how bad the bugs were on release. Whether you're an Assassin's Creed fan or not, you should at least give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. Bringing us to number 8 on our list, we have Watch Dogs 2. This is a game that is often overshadowed by the negative response of the first game's rocky release, but please don't let that put you off of how just impressive this game is in 2025. After recently revisiting Watch Dogs 2, we were really surprised by just how amazing the setting of San Francisco still looks. Not only does it look great visually, but the way NPCs act in the open world is realistic and immersive. Like, honestly, at no point does this world feel lifeless and empty. Like, being able to hack traffic lights, frame enemies, along with many other things is really entertaining, and because these NPCs aren't dumb, it's very interesting seeing how the AI reacts in certain situations, which makes this an open world that you have to experience. For us at HudReports, this was peak Watch Dogs and 100% deserves revisiting or playing for the first time. And bringing us to number 7 on our list, we have Batman Arkham Knight. Shockingly, this game came out in 2015. Like, just look at these visuals. I remember playing this back in 2015. This is one of the best games I've ever played with the most stunning graphics I've ever seen. I remember I literally grinded the whole game, regardless of the criticism it got, forcing you to use the Batmobile more than you'd ideally wanted. But honestly, it's one of the best open world superhero games ever made. This game captures the dark and gritty atmosphere of Gotham, which was combined with one of the best combat mechanics we've ever seen, and finally having the freedom to drive the damn Batmobile. In this crazy open world, it's no secret that Arkham series was the blueprint for the future superhero games. And bringing us to number 6 on our list, we have Forza Horizon 5. So yeah, I know this is a very different game when compared to the other ones we've discussed so far, but even if you aren't into racing games, you should definitely still consider this game, from its insane settings, or just to take a chill drive around the visually stunning map of Mexico. Honestly, this is one incredible open world racing game that makes exploring its open world so satisfying and almost calming. Like, honestly, even those who aren't into cars can get something out of it. With its amazing attention to detail, perfect driving mechanics, and insane customizations. It's a game I always come back to when I just want to switch off, relax, and clear my head instead of driving in real life, which involves hitting 34 potholes on these shit roads. You've got to check out this game. Alright, bringing us to number 5 on our list, we have Hogwarts Legacy. I honestly feel like this game was sort of forgotten about. Not only is it clearly the best Harry Potter game ever made, but it's certainly worth your time in 2025, as it captures the world of Harry Potter perfectly, from exploring the castle or hunting some of these scary insects in the Forbidden Forest. You can tell real attention to detail and passion was put in its open world, and it never feels like shortcuts were made. In my opinion, a Harry Potter open world game was long overdue, but eventually done incredibly well, and it truly does offer its own unique experience when compared to the rest on the list. And bringing us to number 4 on our list, we have Hitman Trilogy. Honestly, if you've never played Hitman or played it in the past but haven't since, you need to pick up the Hitman Trilogy. In this game, you're a hitman who's given a target that needs to be eliminated, but the way you do it is totally up to you with so many possibilities. Honestly, the mission design and the attention to detail and its open world levels are pretty insane. From fashion shows to nightclubs or even F1 tracks. There's also countless ways to eliminate targets, which gives this game a lot of replay value, and some of the open world areas you'll experience will be nothing like you've seen before. It's also nice just seeing NPCs act like real people instead of acting like a complete dumbass. The attention to detail and intelligent NPC AR makes these levels feel truly alive. And with number 3 on our list, we have Watch Dogs Legion. Alright, so you might be a bit surprised to see another Watch Dogs on the list, but hear me out. Firstly, it's amazing to finally have a modern open world game set in London for once. I mean, not only does it finally set somewhere else other than the US, but it does a great job of replicating the London setting but with a modern twist. I mean, not only is this open world game set outside the US for once, but it also throws the generic stereotypical free roam mechanics out. Like, in this game, there's no main character, and instead you have the opportunity to play literally as anyone. Yes, this does have some serious drawbacks which does affect the story, but on the other side, it does make the open world truly unique and something you should at least try out. I honestly give it massive credit for thinking outside the box and trying to do something different for once instead of playing it safe, which does result in some really entertaining moments like taking out enemies while playing as a boring character. Yes, the story does suffer because of it, but the classic addicting gameplay of Watch Dogs still remains, but accompanied by a brand new setting that feels very fresh to play. And bringing us to number 2 on our list, we have Mafia 2. This was a game I grew up with back in the day. It was released in 2010 and it is set in the 1950s Empire Bay, which doesn't exist by the way. Honestly, these were the days where the story was the complete main focus and instead of draining players' wallets with dumb DLCs. Yes, I know this is a more of a linear game compared to the rest on the list, but you are still able to free roam between missions. What truly makes this open world unique is the fact that you can piss NPCs off by turning light switches off. However, on a serious note, strangely enough, this is only the open world game I know of that actually has realistic cops and cars that run out of gas, so if you're caught speeding, you don't get met with a bullet through the back of your head. Instead, you're given a fine. Also, when hitting licks or killing a shopkeeper, crime scenes tapes appear, and cars actually need gas, which I always thought was amazing for some reason, but actually focuses more on the realism side, which does seem rare these days, and paired with its outstanding main story that will be remembered for a long time. It's certainly a game you should experience at least once, and for me it's one of my favorite open world story games. And lastly, bringing us to number 1 on our list, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. Honestly, how could I not mention this absolute legendary game when talking about top 10 open world game? Honestly speaking, this must be my favorite game of all time. This game gets its open world absolutely right, from its incredible attention to detail that I've never seen in any other game come close to, all the way to its legendary story that will be remembered and not forgotten. Honestly speaking, I would have to say it's described as the blueprint of how to make the perfect open world game, and the fact that people still discover little details hidden within the open world still shocks me. Red Dead Redemption 2 just seems to be in a league of its own, and I'll be honest, if GTA 6 ends up improving upon this in its open world aspects, I think I'm going to have more problems trying to leave my house. Honestly, playing Red Dead Redemption 2 exposes how lackluster most games released today are, and how light years ahead Red Dead Redemption truly is despite releasing back in 2018. Well, there you have it folks, that's my list, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your top 10 open world games are and whether you've played any on my list. Drop a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay updated with the latest gaming news. This is HudReports, and I'll catch you in the next one.